That night, as though it's carved into my very bones, the night the wind howled low through the canyon, carrying the smell of gunpowder, dust, and fear. I wasn't there when it happened, not when the outlaws rode down on those girls, but I felt it all the same, for the man who would ride into my life carried the weight of that fight in his eyes when he told me. His name was Colt McAllister, a cowboy with a quiet strength, the kind you don't notice until the storm comes and you see who stands tall. The prairie was never gentle in those years. By day the sun scorched the earth until the ground cracked, and by night the cold could steal the warmth right out of your lungs. But harder still were the men who came hungry for more than just bread or cattle, men who wanted to take, to break, and to leave ruin behind. That's what Colt found himself against when he stumbled across 3 young Apache girls cornered in a gulch by outlaws. He told me how his horse, a chestnut with a stubborn streak, caught the scent of smoke first. Then came the sound of laughter, sharp and cruel, echoing against the rocks. Colt didn't think. He acted. With only his rifle and the grit God gave him, he rode down on those men. The fight was ugly, close. Gunfire cracked like thunder, and for a heartbeat the canyon lit up with fire and fury. When the dust settled, 2 men lay still, another fled bleeding into the night, and those 3 girls stood trembling, safe but shaken, their dark eyes wide with shock and gratitude. He didn't ask for thanks. That wasn't Colt's way. He brought them back, walking his horse slow so they could keep up, all the way to their people's camp nestled deep beneath the pines. And that's where I enter the story, because I was there when their mother came forward. I remember her. A proud woman, tall with braids streaked silver, eyes that seemed to hold the strength of the earth itself. She embraced her daughters fiercely, murmuring in her tongue, tears streaking down her weathered face. Then she turned to Colt. She didn't bow, she didn't beg. She simply laid her hand on his chest and said words I didn't understand at first. But the meaning was clear even before they were translated. He had given her back her daughters, and for that, she would give him her greatest gift. It wasn't gold. It wasn't land. It was her blessing. Her trust. Something sacred. That night, as the tribe celebrated the safe return of the girls, I found myself watching Colt from across the fire. The flames painted his face in shifting light, shadows falling across the rough line of his jaw, his steady hands, the rifle resting by his knee. He wasn't boasting of what he'd done. He wasn't even speaking much at all. He just sat quietly, letting the girls lean against him, as though they'd found in him the brother or father they'd almost lost. And something stirred in me then, something deep and unexpected. You see, I was a widow. My husband had been taken by fever 2 winters past, leaving me with an empty cabin and a heart heavy as stone. I had learned to live with silence, to till the garden alone, to light my lamp each night and pray without expecting much in return. Love, I thought, was behind me. My life would be duty and survival from here on. But watching Colt, I felt that quiet crack open. Here was a man who didn't speak of honor yet lived it, who didn't seek reward yet was given something greater than any coin. And when his eyes lifted across the fire and met mine, I swear the world shifted. Just a glance, but in it was a question, and maybe even an answer I'd been waiting for without knowing it. The next morning, I found him saddling his horse by the edge of camp. The girls had braided wildflowers into his horse's mane, and he was pretending to scowl about it, though I could see the smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. I asked him where he was headed. He said nowhere in particular. That was his way, never tied down, always drifting like tumbleweed. But before he could mount, their mother came. She carried a necklace bead strung with turquoise and bone, worn smooth by time. She placed it over his head, her hands lingering as she spoke softly, her voice thick with emotion.